Our next guest on the pod has been someone we've talked about so many times. I can't believe it took us this long to have her on for her own episode. She was the first person to greet me and give me a hug after the Manchester Marathon. She's a fellow Penguin, and she's the one who guided Jared through the Boston Marathon. And this year, she's running for a team that holds a very close place to her heart. And I can't wait to have her on and hear her whole story. Jordan Whitaker, welcome to the On the Runs podcast. What's up?
Hi, guys.
So good to see you, Jordan. How have you been recovering since I last saw you, which I believe was probably hamster wheel? You were not having a good time after that, but I hope it went well.
I was really nauseous and really cold after hamster wheel.
That was a rough one. That was.
It was cold. It was windy. It was my first ultra.
You kicked ass, though.
Thanks. I didn't actually take much time off at all. I kind of just jumped straight into Boston training and didn't cut miles down very much. Probably
True
not
ultra
the best
runner
advice.
True
not the
ultra
best
runner.
advice, but that's what I did.
I realize now I messed up my intro already. Ultra runner. I didn't even know that. Ultra runner, Jordan Whitaker on the
Like a star.
podcast. Oh, man, I'm excited to have you on. I mentioned in the intro, you were the first person to greet me at the Manchester Marathon. And I remember that day very well because I thought logistically it was the right marathon for me. It's 5 minutes down the street from my house. But instead, I'm driving 40 minutes to drop the kids off at my parents', driving 40 minutes back. I'm getting there in hot during the national anthem. And as I finally just
you
like,
came
run
in on
into
2
the
wheels.
line, you like tap me on the shoulder and you say hi. And it's the first time we met.
I
Run the marathon, and you're right there at the finish line waiting for me to greet me.
I was waiting for a couple of friends, but yeah, I ran the half that day.
I don't know what it was, but there was something in that moment when I walked up to you. I just got my medal and I'm like out of breath, and I'm just like, I gave you a big hug, but I think I was more so asking you to hold me.
The comfort of friends.
Yeah, brand new friend. That was awesome. That was so much fun. But yeah, we've been talking about you for years on the pod, I feel. Jared is one who kind of broke the ice and told us who you were. And then Erica goes, you're a Penguin.
I am. I've reached the beach with the Penguins.
We're so happy to have you. I think at that point I had transitioned to the ultra team, so we were a couple Penguins short on the regular team, and you stepped right up. We got you, and
I got convinced.
You kick ass. So
I got convinced in August to run that year, but I did.
Okay, so lots of time like you usually have to prep. That's great.
Yep.
Now, we
I
must
just
have a lot
stepped
of
in.
like mutual connections because who got you on the Penguins?
Danielle, she is the school resource officer at my kids' school. And so she reached out and asked if I would join. And I was like, all right.
It was like pulling teeth for you.
I guess I can reach the beach again.
Oh, so you'd done it before and you were like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. But she kind of got you in on it.
Yeah. So I ran, before I had kids, I ran on a really fast team before it was fully transitioned to Ragnar. It was a Reebok Ragnar still.
Okay.
And we ran it in like 23 hours.
Is that fast?
Yeah, dude. Think about it. Do the math. 200 miles in 23 hours. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
Exactly
it was
200 miles.
Yeah,
I think it's over.
It's like 210 or something.
Yeah, I knew
Something
it was
around there.
a little over. They say ish
Yeah.
for a reason, but
And so I ran on that team, and then the following year I ran on a 5-person ultra.
oh, a 5-person. Oh, girl.
Yeah, it was not.
I
it was
can
hard.
see why your
And then
perception of it would not be as great
I
at
got
this
pulled
point.
onto like somebody randomly asked me that I knew, Savannah Moon, and I ran on a team with them. But a lot of people had said they were faster than they were, and it took us like a very long time to finish. And after that, I was like, I might never reach the beach again.
Until now.
And then I went back again.
How did the Penguins treat you? And was
was
that
good.
Did you only do it the 1 year, or have you've been going every year now, haven't you?
I did not run it last year because I was doing hamster wheel, and I decided that was too much, too close together, and I was not
Smart
going to do
move.
it.
Smart move. No judgment.
I didn't know what my first ultra was going to look like, how it was going to go. I decided Reach the Beach wasn't it.
There you go.
I just want to come in here and tell you I Googled it. A 210-mile race in 23 hours flat is 6 minutes, 34 seconds per mile.
That's
so I was
gross.
the slowest runner on our team, and my long run was like 7:55 in the middle of the night.
Girl.
Wow. Did you guys win?
We came in first place in our division. We were the second team to cross the finish line. There was an ultra team of men that beat us.
That's unreal.
I think I
But
remember
hey,
this.
Nice work.
I think I remember like this men's team making a video about it, and it was like a super fast video, and it's like the best time ever for a Reach the Beach.
That was before they had like checkpoints, so we didn't ever get held back. So I
Oh.
can remember
Could just go.
you could just go, and I remember coming through an intersection. I was in van 2, the second to last runner, and I remember coming through an intersection in Hampton, and the police weren't there yet. We finished the race, and the beer garden wasn't open.
What?
Like,
Well,
they
you did
weren't
it wrong then.
They
Around,
weren't
like,
allowed
come
to serve us. They literally told us they couldn't serve us until I don't know what time it was, and we were like, "Are you kidding?"
So it doesn't
You
pay
did
to
it
be
wrong.
that fast.
You should have slowed
Yes.
down.
Apparently, we should have gone slower that year. Yes.
You live and you learn.
Yeah.
But like
It's
I
all
said,
right.
I was going to say, once a penguin, always a penguin. So
Yes.
if you decide to do it again, awesome. But if that was your year, then still a penguin.
We'll see what happens because I have Marine Corps this fall.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, so we'll see. Reach the Beach is more doable on a marathon, I feel like, than with an ultra. An
I
ultra
mean,
was a lot.
you've done all the more mileage. You know you can handle the marathon.
Yeah. Yes. That's
Yeah,
what
you
I felt.
tested all the waters, it seems.
She has.
A little bit of everything. Yes.
Yeah. I have yet to dabble in that ultra scene, but
I'm working
I
on it.
have a thought process to when I will.
So Jared was the push to get me to run an ultra. And I think it might have been one and done. I think that might
Could have
be
been a
it.
bad experience. Like maybe you just got to do the right one. Not that hamster wheel's the wrong one, but it's the elements. That was a wicked cold weekend, right?
It was cold, it was
was.
windy, and I'm going to be honest, I don't ever look at courses before I run them. And so, like, I had no idea it's out and back and out and back and out and back, and then, like, a tiny little loop. I just
Gets
knew
boring.
I was going to do 12 hours. And there
Well,
was
you know what?
something dead on the side of the trail last year. And it smelled terrible.
Are you sure you weren't hallucinating?
Positive.
I can
Okay.
vouch for that because I did a few
So
laps as like a pacer,
bad.
and people are like, "Oh, hold your nose," and I'm like, "Why?" And then you're like, "Oh, this is why."
Yeah.
And it was only like just a tiny little chunk, and then you're past it, but then you have to
Yeah,
come
but
right back
over
through.
and over and over again.
Yeah.
No,
You know what they
that's-
say about looped courses, like hamster wheels, a looped course, anchor down's a looped course. You know what they say about looped courses?
What?
They're pointless.
Shut up. That was good, actually. I really like that.
It's true.
But all right, Jordan, let's get to know you. Like, I feel like we've been following you vicariously through Instagram, seeing you at events like this, like Reach the Beach, the marathon, hamster wheel last year. We've heard a lot about you from Jared, but we don't really know much about you. Tell us a little bit about who Jordan is.
I'm a teacher, a gym teacher in Hopkinton. I have 2 young kids. They're 6 and 8, almost 7 and 9. I like to go to country music concerts. I prefer summer when it's warm. I don't really like the cold. I live on the treadmill in the winter.
You and I.
Where are you from originally? Are you a
Jeez.
New Hampshire girl?
I am. I've lived in New Hampshire my whole life, but I hate the cold. I hate
So
it.
Erica's the same way, and
She's in a
she,
pot,
you know,
I'm telling you.
the opportunity has come up recently, and I'm like, you could just move. You can go anywhere, but she won't leave New Hampshire.
Why?
Why won't the two of you leave if you don't like it? The cold, I'm talking about.
It's trading weather for friends. And how can you do that? Like friends, family are here. I mean, I do have some family in the South, but I mean, my support system's here. And even though I hate it, I love it. It's hard to explain.
I like the people.
get
I
it?
don't like the weather.
Exactly.
If everyone would go with me, it would be fine.
That's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Erica, take them with you. I'm on the side of I love the summer and I love the winter. Fall is nice and spring is nice, but there's that period in between that sucks.
Like right
It's
now.
like fall. No, yeah, like right now. Winter's over, but it's not really warm yet. We get a couple nice days. The end of fall is the worst, really, to be honest. The end of fall. Fall's over. The leaves are dead, but winter's not here yet. There's no snow. There's no skiing. It's just miserable.
Yeah, Yeah. My kids started snowboarding this year, so I went back to snowboarding, and it wasn't as bad of a winter, but it's still cold and like, no, thank you.
I love it.
Can't get me outside in that. Nope.
It's not about us. It's not about me. It's about you. So you grew up here. Like, what did you do? You play sports? Were you a runner then? Were you an ice hockey player because you're a big winter person?
Absolutely no ice hockey. I played soccer up through my freshman year of college. I played basketball of high school. I cheated on track. We never really practiced.
How do you cheat?
Well, because you see, we parked our car, and at my high school, it was like all of the schools in a row. And so we parked our car at the elementary school. And then we would run down the road to our car, and we would go to like Dunkin' or McDonald's or any place a high school kid would go. And then have all the snacks. And then we'd come back to the car, and it was uphill. And so we'd sprint up the hill, and then it looked like we'd been on a long run.
Oh my God.
This is like a life hack.
We would make Dunkin' Donuts or Wendy's runs in the middle of like not a class, but like a study period. Like I enjoyed the practice part, but that's
oh, no.
funny.
And then you'd have to go run like the 2 mile, and you'd be like, and it was terrible at a meet.
It's like, you've been practicing so hard. Why isn't it showing in the game?
Yeah.
What school was this?
I went to Hillsborough Deering High School.
Okay.
So I went to a little school.
My schools were similar set up. The middle and high school next to each other, and all those fields and parking and everything was right there in the middle alongside it. And I do know like a lot of kids did similar things. Like some of the distance runners would, the slow ones, they would run a little bit and then stop and then run back when the rest of us come back and act like, yeah, that was a great 5-mile run.
It was a great idea back then.
Yeah, it was fun.
I did not run.
Back then, without phones, no
you wouldn't
YouTube,
get caught.
No internet.
That's the difference. You can't. Yeah. You didn't get caught. Now it'd be all over the place.
They couldn't do it.
You couldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely
not. Those are the good old days. We really grew up in like the prime era.
We got away with so much shit.
We did.
I told my kid that the other day.
To see it.
McKenna was like, Mom, when I'm older, I'm like, you can't. I did everything and got away with it. You will not get away with anything.
Nice try, kid. So you did a little running in high school, and then you said you played just 1 year in college of soccer. Where'd you go to school?
I spent my first semester at UMaine Farmington, and I played soccer there.
Okay.
That was not a place for me.
Did you wind up transferring or just
I did. I transferred out.
Okay.
And I spent the next 4 years at Keene State.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thought you would have gone south maybe if you hated the cold. You went north to Maine.
So it's a funny story. I didn't really know where I wanted to go, and I accepted at Bridgewater State in Mass. And then I went to orientation. I was like, that's too big. No, thank you. UMaine had a full ride open for me until the day soccer started.
Up in Orono.
Farmington.
Oh.
And so I went and I played soccer for a semester and hated it.
Oh.
Transferred back to Keene.
So Keene was more your style.
Keene
the
was
vibes
fun.
You liked. Good.
Yeah.
Did you do any sports while you were there?
I did not. I didn't do well academically when I played soccer. I did a lot of partying. So
college.
That was the thing to do. That's what Erica and I did.
I had a great time. I just didn't go to class. I was the only freshman on the team.
Oh.
So my parents were like, we're not helping pay for college if you think you're playing soccer in Keene. And I was like, fair. Okay. We're not playing soccer anymore.
I mean, you know what? That's fine because I think then you get to experience college in a different way. You're not an athlete, have to be at practice, have to do well, worried about soccer.
There's a lot of pressure with the collegiate athletes, especially like if it's a good school. Like if you feel like Plymouth was never that great. Not that I could even play there, but like I don't know. Like we weren't D1 or anything. So
Erica rode the pine on the soccer team in high school. So
I did. I was the best bench warmer there was.
I was a good basketball bench warmer.
There you go.
Perfect.
But in college, you're allowed to like do you can do clubs. You can join a soccer club and play just pickup soccer. I did boxing club, believe it or not. Erica and I met in a club called Monday Night Fun Club. Like you get to do those things and there's no pressure. You know what I mean? You need a break from studying from school. You go do this club and you have some fun.
It was definitely more fun at Keene State. There was a lot less pressure. I wasn't like mandatory lifting and practice. It was a lot more low key. Like you can go, you can have fun. If you don't win, it's fine. nothing
Perfect.
happens.
Love that.
Yeah. But then when you do win the intramural championship, which
Then
we
you
won one
celebrate
year,
real hard.
we celebrated hard, man. We won in floor hockey, and we beat guys on the hockey team. They're all fifth-year seniors, so they were no longer eligible to play in the NCAA, but they had to finish school. We beat them.
Perfect.
It was awesome. Says a lot for the Plymouth State hockey team back then.
Maybe not so much.
Our sports were not top notch.
Keene
all
State,
right.
though. So did you like Keene State? Because I actually chose between Keene and Plymouth, and I wanted the mountains. Again, we know I love the mountains. I love the winter. What brought you to Keene?
It was not super far from home. It was like 45 minutes from home. They have a good education program. And I had a couple friends that were there from high school.
Awesome.
And they had really good parties.
Yeah.
It's a
We had a
double
great
whammy.
time.
It's perfect.
We had a great time.
Not as good as Plymouth State, though. Right, Erica? Would Playboy rate us?
We're number one. We're number one.
Perfect.
In 1989? What
That
year
was a
was it?
long time ago.
94.
94. Okay.
Yeah.
Knew it was way back then. So enough about partying, even though it was so fun. I miss my college days. I was actually just looking through a bunch of pictures this past weekend, and I'm like, oh man, these were the days. The digital camera pictures that like live on some external flash drive somewhere. But I digress. But we want to find out what really sparked your love for running, and especially now because you're out there doing the damn thing all the time, Miss Ultra Runner. So what kept it going?
My first marathon was 2015, and I had gone through a not great breakup. And in that breakup, he said something about how I would never run a marathon. And that day, I signed up to run Vermont City.
I love
Because-
those kind of stories where you're like, I'm gonna show you.
What else would you do?
You don't know you don't know me.
What else would you do except sign up to run the
Of
marathon?
course.
Um,
It's a challenge.
I ran it, and then I signed up to run 2016 because I didn't love how well I ran, and that year was like 100 degrees at Vermont City, and they called it, and I was at mile 19. And I cried.
No, you didn't even get to
cried.
finish. Oh,
Nope, they
that's
pulled
tough.
everybody off course with a black flag, and I cried.
I believe that.
From there, that's
Did you
the
have
year-
like in your head what you were gonna say or what you're gonna post? Like,
Well,
You know
no,
what I mean?
I never said anything to him. That comes later. I never said anything to him about it. I just did it. Whatever. He is now a and there are people in the running community that are also been pictures like at finish lines like left in the break room that have disappeared after a day or two.
Oh.
yes.
So it is out there. It is known. I didn't have to say anything.
But that's incredible. Okay, so but what sucks is what happened at the race. So how do you continue on past that? Like where you're like, I gotta finish this?
I then reached the beach for the first time. I got pulled onto that team, that really fast Reach the Beach team where we ran in 23 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Through people that I work with. I was coaching high school girls soccer at the time in Hopkinton, and one of the moms was supposed to be on the team, and she's like, I just found out like a week before that I'm going to be away at a work meeting. My husband's going to kill me. I need you to fill in. You don't have to pay for it. You just have to show up and run.
Mhm.
And I was like, great, I can do that. Then I had McKenna, and then I had Lucas, and I took time off in between, and then it was COVID. And I had a friend try and convince me to run a half, and I was like, yeah, I'll run a half. Oh, and in there I'd run a couple torch runs from Concord to UNH with the Hopkinton Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, yeah, whatever. I signed up to run the cheap half. I got put on the wait list, and I was like, great, I'm not going to have to run. I didn't train.
And then
I did nothing. And then like 2 weeks before,
You're in.
I got pulled off the wait list.
So wait, you hadn't been training much at all for this because you
I've been
didn't
like
expect
running
it.
like short, like 3, 4, nothing. I went out and ran
Oh.
1 9-mile run, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
All right. Hold on though, real quick. I want to back up.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the boyfriend who said you'll never run a marathon. What sparked him to say that? Like, were you trying at the time? Were you a runner?
I had run a half, and I did not do well. And I had said I always wanted to run a marathon, specifically Boston. And so
Mhm.
he knew that like that would make me upset. And I was like, fine, I will run a marathon.
Okay.
The next one
So
I can
you
sign
were
up
running
for.
and it was a dream of yours, and he
he was trying to crush it, and I was like, no, you can't tell me I'm not going to. Now I have to right now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever looked back at that? And if he never said that, like, do you think your path would have changed?
I don't think I would have gone into marathons as quickly as I did because I'd only ever run one half before I jumped to a full.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would have tried a marathon, but I don't know when it would have been.
Gotcha.
And I don't think that I would have run as many now or run an ultra had that not happened.
Are you happy
Gonna
with the
clip
way
that
that
and put that in the.
Are you happy with the way that things have transitioned since then? Like, are you?
Yes.
You like your path?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, a marathon is definitely one of my favorite. That and a half.
I love that because we never knew that. So that's one of those cool stories within the journey, as I always say. Everyone has a journey, but there's a story within it, and I found it. That's a good one.
Yep.
So you never trained. Back to the cheap marathon. How did that go? Like half marathon, no training.
I ran the half in a 2:04, 2:05.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big
And I beat
deal.
my friend that convinced me to run it by like 2 minutes. And then she was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "I don't know."
So the talent's coming through. Like you're like, all right,
And
COVID's
so-
happening. I can train. Like now that I know I can do this, maybe
And
things
so
will pick up.
then Crystal Buckley had always helped me with my run coaching. And so then I was like,
Oh, we love
all right,
Crystal.
let's try another full. I want to go back to a full. I had I'd run like a 5-hour full. It's the only one I'd finished. And I was like, Crystal, I want to run under a 4:30. And she was like, all right. And so I signed up and I ran Hartford, Connecticut.
Awesome.
I went to Hartford on a Friday night all by myself. I knew nobody down there. I stayed in a hotel and I went and I ran Hartford. And I ran it in, I don't remember, it was under a 4:30.
Great. So you're like, all right, I got
I was
this.
like, okay. And
now
that's
we're
when
talking.
I signed up to I got on a charity team for my first Boston.
Oh, That's so
Yeah.
exciting. So it's been your dream since at least 2015, right?
Yep.
And you're finally like, all right, now my dream can start to be realized. So which
Mhm.
charity team did you work with the first time around?
The first time I ran for Gronk Nation Youth Foundation.
Oh, awesome.
So I ran for Rob Gronkowski's charity.
Very cool. Did you get to
Did
meet
you
him?
get to meet
We
Gronk?
did.
Ah, so jealous.
Yes. More than once now. And
Oh.
I love Gronk. We did a workout with him at at Tom Brady's gym. We did a workout with Gronk, and then he signed jerseys for all of us, and then we got to have an after party with the marathon with him. And then this past August, when he opened his playground in Boston, we all got a personal invitation to go down to the grand opening because we'd all fundraised for that playground.
Oh,
So the kids and I
wow.
got to go, and he like raced them across the playground and was like playing with them.
That's so
it was really
cool.
cool. It was fun.
Are your kids Pats fans? Like, did they realize how cool of a moment that was?
I don't think they did.
Probably cooler
Until
for you than it
after.
was for them. Okay.
Yeah. They like get it now a little bit, but they were like, why are we going here?
Kids.
Can I just say the Gronk Nation singlet is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh,
looks
look at
amazing.
you.
So are this
That was
is this
my
from the
first
year?
Boston.
Yeah, this is that
Yep.
year.
That was that first Boston. Yep.
It looks like an amazing day. Oh, there's the man,
There's
Jared.
Jared.
That's my second Boston.
Okay.
And his first.
So we're getting a little ahead with second, but back to the Gronk Nation. That looked like a beautiful day. I love first marathon stories, but I actually, since this is Boston week, I want to hear your first Boston Marathon story.
All right. So I got in contact with Susan Hurley, who's since passed, but she
Yep.
ran charity teams. And I had a phone interview with her, and she offered me a Boston bib to run for Gronk Nation. So I accepted it.
So was she like deciding who you should run for? Like
You had to apply to the charities.
okay.
And so then she would do a phone interview with you if she thought it was going to be a good fit.
Okay.
Yeah, you still have to apply to all of the charities.
Gotcha.
And so I accepted the Gronk Nation bib, having no idea how I was going to fundraise. Like,
What was
But
your
you knew
fundraising
you
goal?
had to fundraise. Like, what was the number?
Was it a lot?
8,000.
Okay.
Yep. Still a staggering
It's
number.
still really
especially
high.
like When your first time fundraising, you're like, oh
and I was
boy.
like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to run Boston. And I can't even tell you what I did for fundraisers. But I ended up making the amount and going to Boston. That day was a perfect day. It was like 55 and sunny with a light breeze.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I don't think
What
you could
year?
get a more perfect Boston.
2022?
Was that the
2022.
October race?
No, that was the next spring. So October happened. I think that was 21. And then 22 was like
The first
7 months
spring
later.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't even accept charity bibs until after the fall race had happened. They couldn't even open charity applications. So it was an even shorter window to fundraise.
Oh, no.
I didn't find out till like November, December that I was going to be going to Boston.
But you did it. Okay.
I did.
Ooh.
And it was like perfect weather. I ran the fastest marathon I'd ever run at that point. It was a 4:16
Beautiful.
in Boston. And I was so happy to be down there. It was so much fun.
So at that point, if you're running Boston, and what did you train for? Like, were you going just for another sub 4:30, or like, all right, so you knew you wanted to do a little bit better,
Yeah,
but I'm sure
I had no time idea whatsoever. In that training plan, I'd gone and I'd run Clearwater half marathon, and I'd run a 1:47 or 1:48 there, and came in
That's incredible.
4th female. And so I was like riding this wave of like, yes, I just ran my fastest marathon, now my fastest half. I was like, great, maybe I can do this in Boston.
Oh my gosh. And I just know like Boston's course can be a little bit intimidating if you've never run it before, because you just hear about the hills and you're like, oh God.
You just go in blind.
What am
That's
I in
what
for?
I did. Nope, I'd never looked. I'd heard about the hills. I just never looked.
That seems on brand for you, right?
You're
like, nope,
never
just
looked.
gonna
And
go
I was
run in
like,
it.
we're just gonna see what happens. I had heard of Heartbreak Hill, but I had no idea what that logistically looked like and how hard it was at that point in a race.
So at this point, if you're running like a 1:47 half, like that will translate to the marathon, but how did the crowds help you get through this? Like, it must have been the perfect spectating day. If it was a perfect running day, it must have been great for spectating.
It was great. I remember turning off my headphones for a lot of that first Boston and not running with music. And I had always run with music, but there was just so many people out on the Boston course when it's a nice day, and they're so loud the whole way. I ran Hartford, and there's an out and back that's like 5 miles of no people in cow pasture. So coming into Boston where there's people everywhere, I was like, this is great. The crowd's definitely help in a big marathon.
Are you one who typically runs with music? Yeah.
Yeah, there have been marathons I've been forced to run without it. But
Which
yes.
Wait, Revel?
Revel. And my second Boston, I was walking to the start corral with Jared, and my headphones wouldn't turn on.
Oh, no.
And I got really mad. And threw them and left them on the side of the street in Hopkinton.
I was thinking like the worst though, like somebody was like, "Hey, you can't use those," but like literally you were just having a malfunction.
Revel, they stopped working in the rain.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So I can see, yes, that's why rainy runs are not your jam either.
No, I'm done with it.
That second Boston, that was the Boston when Jared forgot his watch.
That was the third Boston.
Okay. I'm really jumping around. But.
No, the second Boston is shortly after I'd met Jared, actually.
How did that? Okay. Let's hear this story. I know it's not a love story, but it's a friendship story.
Friend love story.
It is. So I had gotten into my first Boston, and a kid that I went to high school with was in the Army with Jared. Oh. And this kid, Slade, knew that I had run Boston. And then him and Jared were friends. They must have been talking about Jared wanting to run Boston. And he was like, listen, I know one girl that's run. This is her. And he gave him my Instagram. So Jared messaged me on Instagram, no idea who this guy is, and explained Slade and talked for a while. And I told him how I had gotten into Boston through charity teams. Mm-hmm. And a few days later, there was a post about how there was a bib open, a last minute bib open in February. Mm-hmm. And so I told him, and he got it.
Oh my God. So what team was it for? And he had to do the whole fundraising thing, right?
He did. I'm pretty sure he
Scary.
paid a lot of it though that year.
That's how they
it
get
was
you. If you don't do it, they put you on the hook and your credit card sway.
military. Something military was his team that he ran for.
Okay.
But it was through charity teams. And that year I was running for Team Ioneer.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't even running with charity teams, but we found a bib. He was still living in New Hampshire at the time. So then he donated. Then we ended up doing a few runs together. He had driven to Hillsborough and we'd run together a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ran Eastern States 20 miler together. And that was windy and cold.
Uh-huh. That's very on brand for that race.
Uh-huh. And I was like, this is awful. But we ran all but like 1 mile of that together. And then we ran a couple more times before Boston. And then we ended up running all but the last like 3 miles of that Boston Marathon together. And I was glad because that's the year my headphones wouldn't turn on.
You need a friend. Sometimes the
Yeah.
crowds don't carry you the whole way.
We
But
talked the whole 23 miles that we ran together.
that's so fun. Oh, Jared.
So you built this relationship, and Jared, we all know his story,
Yes.
but he's considered a disabled athlete. And so disabled athletes get guides. One year he
They
decided to
do.
return the favor, and he
the
asked you to be his
following
guide.
the following year he asked me to be his guide in Boston. And so I obviously said yes, going back to like nobody's going to say no going back to Boston, not fundraising, not paying, just going to Boston. So the following year, even though he is much faster than I am now, we went back and we ran Boston together again.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Jared's just taken off.
That was
Real
the year we
fast.
met
Yeah.
Jared. We had him on the pod, and he told us that story. And we thought that was so cool that, in a way, he returned the favor.
He did. And he's bringing our friend Slade to run Boston with him this year.
No way.
so cool.
Slade is not a runner, and we kind of had made these jokes. Slade's in the military and always been at the start line when we go through Athletes Village and walked us to the start line. And we had made all of these jokes about Slade not being a runner. And one night Jared brought it up in front of people, and so Slade said yes, like trying to like play it off.
Oh, it's
And
out in the
then
universe now.
Jared can't let it go.
Uh-huh.
And so I think Slade's supposed to be coming to run Boston this year.
That's so cool. We'll have
I
to
hope
hear
he
how
has
that
fun.
goes.
We'll see how it goes.
And
I know
Slade's a New Hampshire guy, right?
he is. He grew up in the same hometown as I did in Hillsborough.
That's so cool. All the dots connecting and how close they are and everything. That's amazing. So
Yeah, and Jared's from Ohio, so like that's
Right.
the one that's kind of out there.
right. I love how Jared though when
Let's come back,
Yeah.
Jared.
Come back.
We'd love you to
He
be in
can
the
move
area
back.
again.
We'd
well,
let him.
I love how Jared came here to begin with. He's like needed a change. So what? All the places in the world, go to New Hampshire.
He knew Slade, and Slade was like, "Come to New Hampshire."
Oh, that was it. Okay. Wow, that's awesome. We'll have to talk to Slade. Let's get him on after the marathon and hear how it went, because I'm wondering if
He's not a runner. I mean,
it'd be a great
It'll
story.
make great stories for sure.
yeah, to see how his first marathon was, and it was Boston. Like,
Well, I hope he listens to this, and I hope that he knows that we will be cheering at mile 19.2, because if he needs anything like a piece of candy or like a soda, like we'll help
Beer,
him out, get him
shots.
get
no,
him to the
we don't
finish line.
do shots in the middle of runs. Ask Erica. Oh,
Fireball's a
No.
bad idea.
she
Hamster
had
wheel.
fireball at hamster wheel, and I'm like, I don't know, not very far in, and they're trying to get me to take shots of fireball. I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I have so many hours.
Fireball
left to
does
run.
not sound appealing at all to me, by the way. Hot cinnamon type.
When you're
Liquor?
close,
Okay.
it's not that bad.
Okay, but like we're talking, I started at 9. They're offering this at like 10:30 in the morning, and I'm signed up to run a 12-hour race. I was like, guys,
In my
I think-
defense, I wasn't running that day, and I had nothing else to do except cheer and have a couple shots along the way. So
Yeah.
here I am peer pressuring everybody else. Like,
I
"Come
did
on,
take
guys,
the very last one they had, but I didn't drink it. It was just sitting in my pocket for a while.
That is fine with me. You don't have to tell me. It's just for fun, and
I
like
took it.
we don't pressure anybody anyways.
I was like, all right, I'll take it, but I'm not taking the shot right now.
Just sounds so
Sounds
gross to
fun.
me. Fireball. Like
Not
a
that
Pink
bad.
Whitney sounds good to me
no,
in the middle of a race.
that's
A Pink
vodka.
Whitney. It's pink lemonade flavored vodka.
If I was okay, so in a marathon, I probably might have taken the Fireball. I didn't know what I was getting into with an
What is
ultra,
it
and
that
I was like,
everyone loves about Fireball? I don't get
it's
it.
not bad.
I didn't make the rules.
I
Just
don't
did
know.
it that way.
I
It
don't
is
get
what it is.
You know what?
Blame the Yetis. It's all the Yetis' fault.
I know what it is. It's because of this.
Fireball.
That doesn't hurt. There's actually a video of me, or no, like some of my pictures from one of my ultras last year. Like somebody played it where like they're running around like, get the Fireball, get the Fireball. I had just finished, and I'm just like, who wants to do what now? Somebody hands me one. I'm like, all right, game on. Like,
Had
you
it
just
been
do it.
Had it been the end of my race, I might have. But the start of an ultra, I was like,
Different story.
I don't even know what I'm doing here, guys.
Yeah.
It's a lawless place.
All right. So one thing I want to touch on here is the rest of your story. And if people who have listened to this podcast since day one, about 4 years ago, they know I give Erica such a hard time when we talk about her one and only Boston Marathon running for Team Ioneer. Because I feel like it's easier to fundraise if you have a purpose behind that charity. And Erica did exactly that last year for Chicago, and she raised her fundraising goal in one day because of the connection
I had a very
she had.
low one. I didn't run Boston.
But still,
Chicago
you made
is
it-
much lower.
You still made it
Exactly.
in one day. Now,
But having the connection helps so much to just bring awareness to the cause and to get people to, like, they're more likely to donate if you're very passionate about what you're doing. So in 2018, my Boston, I fundraised for Team Ioneer, and I did not have the connection, but I'd love to hear about the connection that you have to Team Ioneer.
So Team Ioneer, I got connected with them because my daughter, when she was little, had a cyst that kept reoccurring in her ear canal.
Oh.
And they knew I was a runner. Let's go back. She had a cyst in her ear canal, and no one in New Hampshire was willing to touch it because she was so little. And when it would get inflamed, you couldn't even see in her ear.
Oh, no.
So we finally got a referral after a year and a half to Mass Ioneer.
Mhm.
We went down to Mass Ioneer. It wasn't inflamed at the time. They did like a routine checkup, and he was like, does she snore? And I was like, yeah, like an overgrown, like male, like truck driver. It's
Oh my
awful.
gosh.
She's
hey,
4.
women snore too.
But a 4-year-old?
It was so loud. And so he was like, okay, so I believe you about the cyst. It's not inflamed right now, so we want to do an MRI of her head. She's 4.
Oh, that must have been
And
scary.
we want to do a pediatric sleep study. So So we did the MRI of her head. She had to be fully sedated and put out in Boston. And they found that it sat on her facial nerve. So
Wow.
yeah. So then we did the sleep study, which a pediatric sleep study is awful. They connect everything all over their head. Then the breathing pieces, they didn't listen when I said she doesn't breathe through her nose. So then they had to wake her up. And they expect this little kid to sleep. Her sleep study came back that her breathing was disturbed 30 times an hour
Whoa.
because her sleep apnea was so bad. The study came back on a Monday, and they scheduled surgery for Friday.
Oh, wow.
So she had her tonsils and her adenoids removed in Boston, as well as in one surgery, the cyst in her ear that touched her facial nerve. We went in knowing that there was a possibility that they wouldn't get the entire cyst, or they could hit her facial nerve and she would lose all movement and feeling in that side of her face at 4.
Oh, that's so scary.
It was. And that was while I was training for my first Boston. So I was there running on a treadmill at Mass Ioneer while she was in surgery.
Oh my gosh.
Her surgery was successful. She kept all movement and feeling in her face. She stopped snoring. She started sleeping. They were wonderful. Then in August, a cyst was in her other ear.
Are you serious? Ugh.
So
Do they know what was causing these cysts? Like what made them pop up?
They think that it's just the way her sinuses developed. There was an open space. And so it just filled with a cyst. And so they put her on, they saw her, they put her on an antibiotic. The antibiotic wasn't working. The cyst was still growing. So then we ended up in Mass Ioneer's emergency department, and they gave her an IV drip. This is the first week back to school for teachers. They gave her an IV drip. Then they said she needed to be seen on the pediatric floor in 48 hours. We went back on a Thursday, and he said, I don't have room on my surgery schedule for tomorrow, but it has to come out tomorrow.
Oh, wow. So it was that urgent. Oh, my gosh.
Because it was still growing after antibiotics.
Oh,
so,
oh no. Mm-hmm.
So we had surgery the Friday before she was supposed to start kindergarten. And it was successful. They got it all out. They didn't touch her facial nerve on that side either. But she went her first day of kindergarten with like her ear still dripping blood and had to leave early to go get a follow-up at 5.
What a trooper, though. Oh my gosh.
So shortly after that surgery in August is when they start their like marathon things. And so I got a phone call, and it was about McKenna being their pediatric patient partner for the Boston Marathon the following spring.
Oh.
So I said yes. They'd known I trained for Boston. And like 2 weeks later came the phone call, will you run and fundraise for Team Ioneer?
Oh.
So I'd already said yes, McKenna could be a part of the marathon weekend. So there was no question that I was going to go back to Boston and fundraise for them.
Absolutely. Oh, what an amazing team of doctors. Like, you have to be an absolute specialist to work with that kind of. She's so tiny too.
And that's why nobody in New Hampshire was willing to do it. We saw an ENT in Concord, and he was like, no. He looked in her ear and was like, no.
Oh,
and
wow.
He was like, and if it was my kid, I'd be going to Boston. And I was like, say no more. To Boston we go.
Yep. I'm so glad that they were able to help her. Both times.
Me too. Both times. I know the second time I was like, is this serious? But yep.
You know, we're so lucky to live near Boston, which is like one of the best.
Yes.
Boston Children's Hospital, I think, is the best children's hospital in the country.
I was a patient there growing up for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Very fortunate. When my boys, we had to go to CHOP in Philadelphia because they were the specialist for what we had. Boston was not. But we were lucky. It was a 5.5, 6 hour drive, and we spent some time there. But there are people there from all over the country, like middle of nowhere, Kansas. Middle of nowhere, Idaho. And like they don't live near anywhere close enough like we do here to Boston. So we're very fortunate, I feel, in a way. This is why New Hampshire's awesome. We're an hour's drive from the best hospitals in the country.
Not too
I
shabby.
mean, we are.
And it's so great that the doctor in Concord realizes that and says, you need to go to Boston. I can't do this. You need to go there.
No, I'm definitely thankful that they didn't try because they wouldn't have known what they were getting into.
Right. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. So I'm so happy that everything worked out. But how did your fundraising go for the first time you ran with Team Ioneer?
The first time I ran with Team Ioneer, I was like $300 short of my fundraising goal. And so
you made Jared pay the rest, right?
I should have. But no, so I paid $300 of my $8,000 I had to fundraise that year for Boston, which isn't terrible. Because I had already fundraised for one Boston and then New York City, and then I was going back to Boston for a second time in like a calendar year. So 300 wasn't so bad.
Nope, not bad at all.
So what I did not know before this was it seems like you've built a relationship with Team Ioneer throughout the years now. So because you're going back to run for them today. So you've built this rapport, this relationship. They know you, they know your kids, they know your story, and do they keep coming to you every year? Is that how you got on their team again this year? Are they just asking you like, please, you're the best?
So I took a year off from Boston and fundraising in general because it was a lot. And so I reached out to the coordinator. I saw her email. We'd been in touch. And so when I reached out to her, she's like, yeah, let's have a phone call. And so when we had a phone call, she's like, we'd love to offer you a spot on the team, but I want you to know our fundraising minimum's gone up. Do you feel comfortable with that? Because they went up to 10,000 this year, which is pretty standard for Boston.
Right.
And I mean, it was a very brief phone call. She was like, oh, are you still running a lot? And it was right before, a couple weeks before Hamster Wheel. So I was like, oh, like the running part's not a problem.
No
here.
idea.
And she was like, all right, then come back to our team. And so, yeah.
That's awesome, the relationship you've built.
I was sent an email about a Sydney bib, but I was like, I can't swing Sydney in the same year. Like, no.
It's kind of a lot, but
maybe next year. Do
maybe
you have
another time.
many stars? Because you mentioned New York. Have you run Chicago and the others?
I've run Boston, New York, and Chicago. I've run all of the U.S. ones. With little kids, it's not super feasible to do the others yet.
Right. All right. We'll get ready
Understandable.
before the end of this podcast to rank them, but we'll
All
get
right.
to there later.
I can rank them easily because my experiences were very different in all of them.
Nice.
I am
But all
kind
right.
of excited to hear about it. But I want to hear a little bit more about the charity team itself. So I know that there's one staple who has been on the Team Eye and Ear marathon team for several years. So you must know Sally Riley.
I do. We've been
She's
in
such a
several
sweetheart.
calls together. Yes. And she's run forever.
Mm-hmm.
With the Eye and
She's
Ear.
raised
Yep.
like $100-something thousand for Team Eye and Ear alone.
She's running again this year.
Love her.
Mhm.
Are there any other people who were on your first Team Eye and Ear team who are on this team besides Sally?
I don't think so.
Mm.
Not that I'm aware of. Although we do have a fairly big team. It's like a 50-person team for Mass Eye and Ear.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, so it's a big, and I did not make the event that they had because I had my kids. So I won't see everybody until marathon weekend.
Oh.
We've done some online stuff, but not everybody's pictures up. So I'm not, that I know of, nobody is the same.
Gotcha. So let's talk a little bit about how training's been going. I know you don't love the winter, but you have a treadmill, so I hear. So how has this winter been treating you?
I've run a lot on my treadmill. My treadmill is in my living room.
Mhm.
And my children watch TV. They play on their tablets. I open their snacks. We have to pause and break up fights. But I
You're
have
getting it done.
I have spent a lot of time on my treadmill this winter. They're with their dad every other weekend. So every other weekend I try and do my longer. I do like 16 to 18 one weekend when they're with their dad, and then
Mhm.
like an 8 to 10 the Sunday. And then the
That's
weekends
fair.
that they're with me, I try and do like 2 10-mile runs because 10 miles is way more manageable when they're there. Or
Absolutely.
getting up to run a 10-mile run before they're awake is more manageable than getting up to run 18.
On a
Yep.
treadmill.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds gross.
I've done
I've
up
been
to
there.
I've done up to 17 on the treadmill this
Oh.
training cycle.
Oh, I don't think
And-
I've ever done more than 7.5 or 8.
I was running 12 miles before work on my treadmill training for hamster wheel, like before going to teach for the day.
Does not
Things
sound
we do
fun.
for ultras, man.
So
get
Boston
it done.
training's been good. If it's a warm Boston, it's okay because I also heat with a wood stove at my house. So it's like 75, 80 degrees in my
There's your
living room
heat
where my
training. You're
treadmill
going to be
is.
just fine.
Yeah, it's been a very warm training cycle, not cold here.
Good.
And you've got to experience Boston a couple times. I want to know, what are your favorite parts about not just the marathon, but about the whole weekend?
So when you run with a charity, one of my favorite things is the before. They always do some sort of a charity event. And whether it's like with Gronk when we had like a dinner with him, or Team Eye and
Not
Ear
a big
does a
deal.
giant. It's a big deal.
Not a
Um,
big deal.
Team Eye and Ear has like a big, what they call a pep rally, and like all the families come and they do a big lunch and they have a team coach that talks. I also like just walking down Boylston Street. You see so many people, you run into people you know. One year, Jamie Staten was like, I had already done a WMUR article with them, or they'd come and filmed at school. And I was walking down Boylston Street at like 8 o'clock at night with Melissa. And she's the one that was recognized because she's got the colorful hair and is not the little blonde girl. Like, she is sticking out here. And he's like, Jordan, come up here. And I had to like go up in the media thing. And I was
No way.
I was ready for bed. I had like my sweatshirt on, my glasses were already on. And I was like, are you kidding me? Now this is going to be on the news in the morning.
Can't say no to Jamie, though. Come on.
I said yes. And then the next morning, my face was the picture in my glasses. And I was like, are you serious, guys, right now?
Is
So
this
just
still
like,
out there?
oh, I'm sure it's still out there. If you Google my name and WMUR, I'm sure it's out there. People had sent it, and I was like, this is the worst picture. Thank you,
You did
everyone.
you dirty. Oh, no.
It's fine, though. So the people that you run into, the people you see that you don't even know are down there, is one of my favorite parts of marathon weekend. It's just busy in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited this year. My kids are both running the Youth Mile marathon weekend, which
Wow.
it's new this year. So they're both going to run the Youth Mile on Saturday when they're in the city with me.
That's
and
so
then-
exciting.
They'll go home because I don't want them there Sunday morning or Sunday night with me. They're going home.
You need to focus. You need to decompress. You need to get ready for a marathon Monday. So
Yes.
that's totally okay.
And I have a favorite part of the course probably too, and I think it's probably Boston College.
Okay.
When you come up over Heartbreak Hill, the kids are really loud, really drunk. You can smell the alcohol before you see the kids.
Oh, no way.
Mhm.
But they're just loud, and they've been out there all day, and they're having a great time. And you know it's all downhill from there. Like coming
There
into
you
the
go.
city,
You
you
did
know
the
it's
hard
all
part.
downhill from there. And like as you get closer to the city, the crowds get louder.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can
I
believe
think
that.
there's like you crest that awful hill and you're coming back down, and BC is loud, and you know that you're coming back into the city, and like it's only a 10K left.
I like that. You break it into the small chapters, and you're like, all right, this is the home stretch
This
at
is
this
it.
point.
Yeah,
Mhm,
like 6
mhm.
miles. You can run 6 miles even on your worst day.
Oh, I'm so excited for you for this year. I am hoping that you get your 55-degree. I'm going to knock on wood because this is probably going to jinx you, but we're going to be out there too. We may not be running, but we'll be out there. So we want nice weather as well. But it's going to be an awesome day for you.
I've run it perfect. I ran it in the rain, and I ran it really hot already. So like, let's go back to nice weather.
I was doing my creeping, as we like to call it sometimes, and look what
And did you find the
What'd you
picture?
look what I
find?
found.
Yeah, see?
Oh,
was
Jordan,
like-
you look great.
I was
Shut
like,
up.
my glasses, I'm ready for bed. Like, is this serious right now? He
You
was very
never tell.
serious.
You just have a pair of glasses on. Like, you look fine.
I hate my glasses. I was like, this is the worst. All right, here I come.
Well, I hope if you get on the news this year, you're ready however you want to be. But this year's going to be exciting. Your bib 28463.
Oh, you got your number.
She got
That's
her
so
number.
fun.
They came out today.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
came out today.
fantastic. I'm going to, what was it again, Eric?
28463. And Erica definitely
I'm
wants
gonna
to
add you to the
know,
tracker.
like, what are some of your favorite snacky snacks or drinks that maybe we'll have at Mile 19.2?
Yeah, if you want anything, I got you.
The gummy nerd clusters have been one of my go-tos during this training. And Jared got me stuck on Uncrustables. And I use them
Ooh.
at Hamster Wheel, but now I'm like, how do you carry these in a marathon? Because I just stopped at my table and could open a new one.
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the gummies might be the easier thing for me to hand out because they have the little
They are.
cute things and you can just pop them in your shorts or something.
mhm,
So
they're definitely the easier.
I'll have that. And if you need like a water or a soda or something, we got you covered.
Yeah. We got you.
Perfect.
You know 19.2
Yes.
on your left.
He knows
You've
where
been
to
there
find
before.
us.
I've
Johnny
seen,
Kelly's
yes, we
statue.
saw you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And when I've run with Jared both times, I was still with him at that point.
But you got to be there before like 3:30 because we
Oh,
have
that's fine.
we have to
I
go
have like
at
a-
3:30 to do something that we're going to talk about later.
I have like a 4-hour-ish marathon, and I started 11:20.
Awesome.
There you go.
So I'll be through there. I'll be through there unless
Perfect.
it's really a bad day.
What are your plans after the
Hoping
marathon?
for the best.
One time I've stayed in the city, and one time I've gone home. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. I only put in for Marathon Monday so far.
You
from
should
work.
come to the Fan Fest and see us there around 6:00.
6:00. I'll probably still be in the city at that point. Maybe I'll have showered.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
please.
you don't even have to. I'm
Erica
like,
says
nah.
no. Eric says
Let's go.
yes.
You know what's funny is
I don't care.
sometimes we have someone like a Bex Gentry on this podcast, and Erica and I jump in the room 10, 15 minutes before, and we're both like, yeah, we just took a shower. It's like, they can't smell
she can
us, but
smell
we were
us through
so
the screen.
nervous
Like
we
in
took a
case it's
shower.
bad.
Hey, I technically showered before I jumped on this, so I probably smell better than both of y'all.
Nice.
I showered this morning. I didn't run today. Yesterday's 16 was enough.
Well, you make me feel gross. I haven't showered yet or done anything.
Sorry. I had to. I was like, I had that rainy run, and I was like total
Yeah.
drowned rat.
That's what I say, a drowned sewer rat after a wet run.
Yeah, it needed to be
Yep.
done.
Well, I'm so excited for this for Boston, but we need to get to our final two questions and then we can wish you luck. So our final two questions are brought to you by My Race Tats, and everyone knows what's coming up here. I'm going to go first. I want to know, what's your hot take? Can you give me a hot take for 2026 or for running or for life? Do you have anything?
This is a hard one for me. All right. My hot take for 2026 and running is take the shot when you're giving it on course. I'm going to do it. That's going to be it.
Girl.
We're going to take it. Even in Boston.
So you're saying it's a strong possibility I'll have the fireball there too.
I've said in Boston I would. On a marathon I would.
I mean, at
Take
mile
the shot.
It's all
19.2,
for
you
fun.
only have 7 miles to go.
And maybe that will get you through Heartbreak Hill, because
Right.
that's awful either
Or
way.
maybe it will make something happen that will just be a great story to share later.
Either way.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope that whatever shot you take during the marathon does not cause any issues, but you're always welcome to come back and talk to us. But on this note, I have my final question. So we have our excellent Spotify playlist, and now that I know that you are a music girly, you like listening to music while you run, what is your go-to song that you like to listen to during your runs? It just pumps you up, gets you going.
So there's a new song. It came out on Friday, and it has been playing. It's Just Believe by Bailey Zimmerman.
Ooh, I
Who
do
I
not
just
know
seen-
this one.
So it's him and Brandon Lake, and I just saw him in concert like a week and a half ago.
Is this country?
And that one, it is.
Yeah, I knew you're a big country
it is-
girly.
It is one of the ones that I've played on all of my runs since it came out.
You find that one song, you just latch on, and it just drives you through all those hard moments.
Yep.
I love it.
Favorite country concert you've ever been to?
For the concert or the fun that was had?
Ooh. You can give me both in this.
Ooh, good
this time.
stories.
All right, so I went and saw Jason Aldean 22. You'd find the pictures. I wore a really great tailgating outfit, and it was probably the most fun that I've had at a concert. It's a one-piece bathing suit, looks like a man body boar rat. And
I've seen that picture, Jordan. Oh my god.
that is probably, and I wore it tailgating at Jason Aldean. I was like directing traffic at Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion, like telling people where to park, like I worked there. I didn't buy a drink all night. I don't remember seeing him on stage, but I had a great time.
How'd you get home?
He's finding the picture.
I was
You
not
realize
the
that.
designated driver. Oh, he can find it. It's out there. It's fine. It's a great photo.
I do believe I've seen this.
Oh, it was a great outfit.
What was
And
your
then-
favorite concert then? Because so that was your favorite time, right?
Oh, that was my favorite time at a concert. My favorite country concert I've been to. I brought my kids and we went and saw Chase Matthew at the Freiburg Fair. They love Chase Matthew, and I brought them, and they were front row, and he puts on a really
Aw.
great show, and they got their hat signed. It was probably one of the best shows. It was small.
Core
And
memory.
he put on a really good show, and they were literally front row. My son was on my shoulders the entire show. That was probably
I love that.
one of the best shows I've seen.
Aw.
That's cool.
I'm sure he's finding that photo.
I'm looking for it.
Absolutely.
My favorite concert. So I'm a huge Aerosmith fan. I saw them 3 times. The first one was amazing. It was in New Hampshire. It was in Manchester. It's the second day the Verizon Arena was open. The first day
Oh,
was a hockey
okay.
game. The very next day, this is 2003, was Aerosmith. And I saw them twice since. They were amazing. But honest to God, on an entertainment level, the best concert I ever saw was Toby Keith.
He puts on a very good show.
Yeah.
I did see him.
He put on a great show.
I've seen a lot of shows though, so like I probably saw 10 last year, so it's hard to pick a favorite.
Did you ever see Montgomery Gentry before one of them died in, I think it was a helicopter accident? On the
I
way
did
to a
not.
concert, by the way.
Yeah.
But I
But
saw
I
it.
did not.
I saw them in New Hampshire at the pavilion, and that was awesome too. I remember counting the kegs on stage. There were like 12. There's like one for every band member and all the backstage people. I'm like, there's 12 kegs on this stage. They have 3
Country
right
concerts
there.
are something.
I know.
Country concerts are something else. They're
Am
fun.
I missing out? I have never been to a
Yes.
country.
Yeah, you are
Yes,
so
you
missing out,
are.
and Erica's like
Although-
hates country and everything. She's so
I
missing out.
don't
I will say-
hate it.
I went and saw Brantley Gilbert at the Casino Ballroom this fall, and my best friend's wife is a bartender there, and we got in early. We were front row. Like, we had drinks delivered to us in the pit. Like, that was probably another good time. Like, you just have to have the right connections to get into all of these things.
There we
That's
go.
what I figured out as an adult. The connections are what, like,
Yeah,
get you where you need to be.
Beautiful.
guys, I found it.
You found it. It's good. There it is.
It's great.
So I was directing traffic and like people where to park. Like I worked there.
So you were
wearing
just
this.
doing it for fun? Like you didn't
Oh, yeah.
actually work?
No. I was like getting shots of Fireball from my friends, like telling people where to park like this. And then my friend
Oh.
Melissa's like, I was only wearing it tailgating as a joke. She's like, you won't wear that in. There's the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion's photographer. And he thought it was the funniest thing. So yeah,
my
she's
God.
like, you won't wear that into the concert. I was like, I'm already wearing it. Why?
Look how
why
happy
change
you
now?
are.
Oh yeah, and everybody I was with is like, you are the most embarrassing human.
Ah,
It was
So
a
you're
great time.
failing to mention that you're also wearing cowboy boots with this,
Oh,
like
glittery
Borat. Literally
cowboy boots. Yes, I very much
It is
am.
a look.
Yes.
That was
Jordan,
awesome.
You are my kind of people. Like people who just have such a great sense of humor.
I'm like, let's go.
Need
It's
more of this
fun.
in my life.
that was so cool. So great. I love that your Instagram though is it's so much of everything. So much running, so much kids, and then that. It was fantastic.
The only
are
part
life.
about that, I was like, so it ended up on the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion's Facebook, and I was like, oh man, I teach. I'm like, what parents are going to
And
see
you're on
this?
WNUR, you're on their Instagram and Facebook.
Hey, teachers are allowed to unleash every once in a while.
I had a great time. It's fine.
That's awesome. I'm glad you can smile and laugh about it now, just like we all can about code browns and stuff. I'll share one more photo since I've been digging it, and I
Oh
found
boy,
it.
what's this one?
But this one I think is not a big deal.
Oh, me and Gronk. Yes, we do love Gronk.
Hello.
That was pretty cool.
Also, notice how giant he is.
He is
Yeah.
enormous.
How tall are you?
5'3".
Okay.
Yeah, he's still enormous.
He's a
though.
solid,
There was
he's
a-
solid, like it looks like 2
He's
feet
a
above you.
wall.
There's a
His
picture
head,
somewhere.
there's a full, like, you could
I'm at
fit
his
his
shoulder.
head in between the top of your
There
head
was
and
a
his chin.
picture that we took both in like those Gronk Nation jerseys in the gym, and you can see there's like a white triangle above my shoulder and in between his armpit. He's giant.
Yeah. Big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Cool guy.
Yep.
Love to meet him.
He's
He should
he's
run a
fun.
marathon and come on the podcast and talk about it.
I don't think he's a runner.
No, he's not. No. But
No.
I'm excited for you. This is so cool. We've seen you before. We've talked, in passing and things, and you were my first hug after Manchester that one year. Like, I feel like we've known each other forever, but we never knew these stories, and you absolutely delivered. I feel bad that it took us this long to get you on the podcast, especially with the New Hampshire connection, the
Worth
Jared
the wait.
connection, the Penguins connection.
All of them.
I know. So this is awesome. And I think we might have talked Erica into going to a country concert.
They're fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no.
And even if you don't love country music, they're like a lot of fun. They're some of the most fun.
I would make the most of it. I absolutely would.
You would have a great time. The lawn seats at Meadowbrook or Bank of New Hampshire
the
Pavilion.
best.
No,
The best.
we're going to
They're
call
not
Allie
expensive.
G, and she's going to get us a suite with all the food and the drinks and everything.
I've never been in a suite there.
I
Oh,
did for
but we could
Kids
go.
Bop.
Oh,
Thank you,
I
Allie
did not
G.
bring my kids. I did not bring my kids to Kids Bop.
No,
we
you
went to
went by
Brad
yourself?
Paisley instead. No, we went to Brad Paisley instead. And Walker Hayes.
No shame.
Kids Bop. I don't think I ever really paid attention to what was going on stage, but I did enjoy the music and the little suite we had. So it was pretty cool.
Okay, a suite. Otherwise, there's 8,000 kids running around that.
It was a lot
No.
less than what you would have thought.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of kids, but it didn't give that whole crazy kid feeling. There's probably 300, 400, 500 kids up close. But we were at the very top of the stadium seating part.
Yep.
And then the lawn was kind of just above us. So it wasn't that bad. Maybe it was just because of where we sat and the experience we got to enjoy.
Maybe.
Yeah. And the fact that we snuck 9 of us in when we only had 8 tickets.
Hey, that's a win.
I mean, when you have twins and they look young,
You swap them out. Here, take this
Scooch
one.
'em through.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
Well, this is fun. This is so much fun. Thank you so much for doing this. Good luck in Boston. Can't wait to see it on 19.2.
You're going to do amazing.
I hope to see you at the
Thank
Fan Fest
you.
after. Going to be
Hopefully.
on Saturday. Let's walk. What's the name of the street again? Boylston. Let's walk
Boylston.
Boylston Street.
I'll be there Saturday. I have a Team Ioneer thing, and my kids are running the Youth Mile. So we'll be in Boston all day
We'll
Saturday.
meet up. We'll
Incredible.
meet up. It's going to be a
Can't wait.
blast.
Can't wait.
Jordan, may your day be epic and the weather be beautiful. Run those miles for Team Ioneer. You're doing a great thing.
Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed that because that was wicked awesome. Jordan Whitaker finally on the On the Runs podcast.
Thank you.